Because the implication is that my tits are wrong.
I don't have time anymore. No time at all.
Pat and Mick all over me peck and right.
What? I'd feel genuinely concerned if I met her in person. Hey guys, welcome back. Just me today. Ethan's not feeling well, so I thought I'd do a video just for me. So this video is kind of special because it was recommended to me actually a long time ago. So sorry, Laura, I'm just now getting to it. But this is going to be Kerry Godliman is not a laid-back woman. I've not heard of this comedian. Her face is kind of familiar to me, so maybe I've seen her in something, maybe I've seen a bit here or there, but as of right now, she is not familiar to me. So this is a new comedian that I'm checking out, and as you guys know, I love a good British comedian, and hopefully this might be another Sarah Millican and be one of my favorites. But we will see, and I'm gonna give this one a shot. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it and see who this person is.
Hey! Welcome to Live at the Apollo! Wow. It's very lovely to be here. They let me host it. What were they thinking? So, yes. I was so excited about hosting this. I was trying to be all kind of laid back and cool about it, but I was like, I'm hosting Live at the Apollo! I was so excited. I wish I was laid back. I've always wanted to be laid back. I've never been laid back. All my life I've wanted to be a laid back person. I've worked really fucking hard, actually, on being a laid back person. And I'm just not naturally good at it. And I have worked on it. I've read loads of
As fast as she talks, I can tell she's not a laid-back person.
books on it, how to be laid back for idiots, juice your way to being laid back, lean into being laid back. I read all of them. I took notes. When I meet laid back people, I'm very interrogative with them. I don't want to miss a learning opportunity. I'm like, how are you so laid back then, mate? Why are you so laid back? Why do you seem to not give a shit about anything at all then? I've tried loads of stuff. I've tried colouring in. I've tried adult colouring in. That's the thing now, isn't it? Adult colouring in. It's the zeitgeist I didn't see coming, the old adult colouring in movement. I don't know if you've been to Smith's lately. Whole aisles of adult colouring in books. And for the uninitiated, it's just colouring in. It's not adult colouring in. People aren't sat at home shading labia. People are, over the years, now and then for Christmases and birthdays, people have bought me the colouring in books, right? Possibly to chill me out. And I always show willing, I'll start them. I'm like, go on then, I'll have a little colouring. And very early into the process, I'm like, oh, fuck this, I've got shit to do. I'm amazed anyone's got time for colouring in. How cocky are you about your life when you're fitting in colouring in?
That would be me. It's like, I love the arts and crafty type stuff. I would love to color and do that stuff. I just don't have time anymore. No time at all. It's like anytime I sit down to go to do something that's just remotely fun or whatever, I'm like, oh, I just pass some time. I can't. I got stuff on my mind. I can't not do stuff. I'm just at that point in my life, I guess.
I've never looked at my life and thought, yeah, I'm really good at this. I'm really good at being alive. I got it licked, mate. I've done all the housework. That's all done. You can check that. And the kids seem fine. They're not Googling porn. And I'm fit and healthy. I've done all the personal hygiene. And I've finished the internet now. Finished! And I've read all the books. And the world's in great nick. I'm of no use out there. So what shall I do now? I'll have a cheeky little colouring, I reckon. I'll have a little cheeky little colouring in me time.
Nope.
I worry about it. I overthink it. What do people do with them colouring in books when they finished them? Do they bin them? Do they keep them? Do they chuck them in the bin? Do they show them to their mates when they come round for a cup of tea? Do you want to see my colouring in? Come and see all my colouring in.
Sound like a crazy person.
Colouring in books here. This is jungles. This is lions. Well, it's all cats. Big cats, mate. Big cats. The cats. Oh, don't go. I worry that it's the thin end of a regression wedge that we should all be keeping an eye on as a society. What next? People doing Play-Doh at dinner parties. Don't talk to Judith. She's quite involved in her Play-Doh these days. No one gives a shit about me. No one ever asks me about me, do they? Well, I'm going to make a cat.
Okay, honestly, she seems like a nervous wreck. I'm sure it's just her persona, but I'd feel genuinely concerned if I met her in person and someone was acting like this in front of me. I'd be like, are you okay? I'm like, do I need to call someone for you? I don't know. Just first impression. She is funny though so far.
I've tried all sorts. I got a dog because I read an article that if you get a dog, it chills you out. Doesn't really, does it? Got all the same problems, but with a dog. Got a dog now. They're like, oh, isn't it nice having a dog? Isn't it nice having a dog? It's like having a little mate, isn't it, having a little dog? No, it's not like having a little mate. Oh, hello, have you met my new mate whose shit I pick up? That's a weird friendship. If you ask me, that is a weird friendship. My little mate who's very codependent, and I got a little warm turd in my coat pocket. Never had any friendships like that in my life, but well, one in the early 90s, but I did have quite low self-esteem.
I was gonna say, it's like having children. Not that you usually carry that in your pocket, but you never know, depending on the circumstance. Kids will do the weirdest things and you have to clean up after them, but...
So I do worry sometimes that not being laid back is like part of living in London. I live in London, lived in London all my life. I always think if I moved to...
Does she have a London accent? Because I was gonna say, her accent's pretty thick, and I kind of was guessing she might have a London accent. Let me know.
Way, maybe I could be more laid back. London's quite intense, isn't it? It's quite intense. It's quite in your face. Pigeons. Right to your face most days. And I've never lived anywhere else. I always think, oh, if I moved to the countryside, I might be sort of more laid back. I don't know what goes on in the countryside, if I'm honest. Apple bobbing, dogging. I don't really properly researched it. But I like the idea of it. Or I'd like to live abroad. Like, the only time I've ever spent any length of time abroad was last year. I went to LA, right? And I was so excited to be there. I had to go there for a job, so I was there for 6 weeks. And I think part of the reason why I liked it was because I got to be an outsider, because that's sometimes quite a nice thing, isn't it, to be exotic? Because when you're from the place you live in, the place you're from, you're not the exotic one. So I was quite excited to be exotic
I can
for
see
a
that.
little while. I reinvented myself a little bit because I knew what they like. They like the Brits out there in LA. So I was like, right, I created a sort of cartoon Cockney for myself. You should have heard me. I was like, oh, I'm going to write to an ape. Look at me old pony jam jar. I might be patting Mick all over me peck and right.
What?
I'm from Middlesex. Don't really talk like that there, but I committed to it. I was like, oh, the septic tank's let this shit up. So...
Oh my gosh.
And while I was there, I was quite laid back because I suppose, it's a different lifestyle out there. It's sunny all the time. Everyone's very health conscious. So I got quite into it. Everyone was like doing yoga and, drinking kale juice and enjoying the sun, being by the ocean. And I was like, oh my God, I could be quite laid back here. People are cool. They're super cool. They dress really funky. People wear hats. They're not being ironic.
Wait, what? Why is wearing a hat ironic? Is this a British thing that I'm unaware of? So I don't know what that's all about. Maybe she'll explain further.
Wear a hat in this country, everyone's like, what are you wearing a hat for, you prick?
Really? I feel like we wear, baseball hats. That's very common over here. Maybe more so in the Midwest. But no, other kinds of hats. No, my mom wears a hat. I feel like we wear hats fairly often. I don't personally that much, but I know I did when I was younger.
But I did get homesick, right? I did get homesick in LA in the end. So I was in a shop. I was in Macy's in Beverly Hills. So I thought, right, I'll go to a very glamorous shop and I'll get myself a new bra. But I did have a few problems. I was in there for a while because I couldn't find my size. They had all the numbers, but they didn't have all the letters. So after a while, this woman came to help me. I say woman, she looked like a shaved cat in a wind tunnel.
Oh dear. Botox.
She said, can I help you at all? I said, yes, you can. I said, I'm trying to find a bra for myself and I can't find my size. I'm a 34 double D. Sometimes I come up an E. Then she looked put out from what I could glean from the lack of movement in her face.
I was going to say, right off the bat, I don't recognize that exactly as a size.
Just a movement in her eye. She was like, we do not start double D. E. She looked really pissed off. And then I got a bit defensive because the implication is that my tits are wrong. Then I got shitty. I was like, well, hang on, this is America, innit? I mean, there are big-titted women out there. Where are they getting their bras from then? A camping shop? So then she calls her colleague across the shop, Amy, this woman here claims to be a double D. Then Amy, this other woman, pops her head up across this store of bras and knickers. And knickers is a word that makes you feel British, knickers. No one else says knickers. They're saying lingerie and panties, but we're like, no, it's knickers. Yeah, Amy, have you got any like pop-up 10 bras and apple catcher knickers, babe? So then Amy pops up. She goes, double D? We've got A, we've got B. I'm like, I know how the alphabet works, Amy. She says, are you sure you're double D? I said, yes, I am sure, actually, because I'm from the UK and I was measured by a municipal woman in Marks and Spencer's as part of a government campaign. Actually, because in my country everyone's wearing slightly the wrong bra size, apparently, so we've all got to get measured by a woman that looks like Miriam Margolyes, and then she sends us out into the world, oh, you're a double D, dear. So I know what I am, and in that moment, I just wanted to be an M&S. I've never felt a feeling so strong in all my life, because I like to think as Marks and Spencer's as the Citizens Advice Bureau of Retail.
I can see that.
I mean, I was in there recently. I was going up the escalator to get some knickers. Knickers, packet of 5.
It's funny, I can actually understand what she's talking about now because I've been at a Marks and Spencer's, and so I kind of know the layout of how the stores are, so it makes sense of what she's saying right now.
And I was going up to the lingerie department, knicker department. I know some people are listening to this anecdote thinking, oh, this is an interesting anecdote about the purchase of a bra. A couple of other people might be thinking, oh, bras, that's where tits live. But to be honest with you, that is sort of the problem, really, isn't it? Because it's a remedial garment, a bra, on a par with a balaclava or a veruca sock.
Huh?
And it's the sexualisation of it that I find irritating. I was in M&S recently and I got in a right strop because they've gone and done it now. I was going up the escalator to the lingerie department, knicker department, and there was a massive poster advertising this season's lingerie. What do you mean seasonal knickers? Who's got seasonal knickers? Who puts away their summer knickers at the end? You know, gets them all back out in September one, don't fit like last year, these knickers, don't they? These seasonal knickers.
What she wants.
And the woman in the poster, I mean, this poster is extremely sexualised, right? She's lolling about in all the gear with her mouth in a sort of cock receptacle situation. As if to say, you know, I have got holes. I was like, no, not M&S. This is a sacred place. And also, another thing that I think doesn't help me be a laid-back person is being a parent, right? That is not conducive. I have seen all the stats. Happy
Amen.
people are the childless people. Don't clap that.
Okay, I wouldn't say that. I love being a mom. My children make me very, very happy, but they do not make me a laid-back person sometimes. So I might have to differ a little bit there. I know plenty of people who don't have children who are very not happy.
One childless man. I mean, I'd love to be a laid-back parent. I'd love to be one of those parents that's like, hey, we're just going to go home and... What do they do? What do those people do? I don't even know what they do. Hey, we're just going to go home and do apple bobbing and whittling, baking. We're going to do baking. And I am quite a tired parent. I'm very tired. I mean, all parents are tired, aren't they, all the time? I mean, I've got a lot of makeup on. You can't see how tired I am. This is like a burqa of foundation. Some days I wear a burqa, I think, oh, fuck it, I can't work with it. There's a lot of women around my way that wear the full burqa. I don't think they're all Muslim women. If I'm entirely honest with you, I don't. I think some are women having a bad hair day that are like...
Just throw it on.
Do the school run in a burqa. Get in the car! Get in the car! All of the parenting stresses me out. All of it. Like right from the beginning, when you're pregnant, you've got to think of a name for your kid. You're like, right, we're going to have to name it. That's tradition. Going to have to give it a name. And it's hard to think of a name for a kid because that's their name. That's going to be their name all their life if it pans out. And I'm an indecisive person. I struggle to think of passwords for websites, and you get help for that, don't you? Like, oh no, weak. And name names go in and out of fashion, don't they? Some names, they can be in fashion, but they don't come back in. We all know those names. And I tell you a thing that's back in fashion now, and I find it fascinating, is virtue names, right? That is back in fashion, those virtue names. It's a sort of Victorian notion that if you name your kid after a virtue, they might live up to that virtue. But that's risky business, isn't it? That's hubris. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your son Victor. He could end up a bit of a loser. Ernest, he could become a bullshitter. Grace is an ever-popular name. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your daughter Grace. She could end up a sort of galumphing oaf. Smacking her head on low beams. Falling into crockery at dinner parties. Oh, come on, Grace. Do your laces up, babe. Stop farting. Prudent, she'll end up lip deep in debt, won't she? Chastity. Although my son is called Frank. Someone said to me, you've done it, innit? You've called your son Frank. That's a virtue. To be honest, to be above board, to be trustworthy. I was like, oh, shit, never thought of that. He's like an estate agent now, isn't he?
Aww.
He's funny, Frank. I think he's funny. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm his mum. He's like, funny, my child's funny. Tell a joke. Look at 774 pictures of my child. But I think he's funny, right? I went to pick him up from school the other day. I pick him up every day because they get proper arsey if you don't. They do. They ring you. They're like, where are you? I'm like, TK Maxx, where are you? Oh, all right then, yeah. So, yes, I went to pick him up from school. And I was late, and I wasn't being very laid back that day. I was running a bit late, a bit stressed. I had my eldest with me. I had my mate's 2 kids that were coming back for tea. I thought we'd just get him and go. He's in reception. I was like, right, we'll just get off, yeah? But the teacher stopped me. She went, can you wait, actually? Can we have a quick chat? In that, you know, voice. So I had to range my face into one of those mum pretending to give a shit faces. I said, go on, what's he done? She said, do you want to tell Mummy what you did today, Frank, or shall I tell Mummy? He's got upset now. He's like, you tell Mummy. I'm like, what's he done? What? She said, look, today Frank stuck a digit up the teaching assistant's bottom.
What? Okay, digit. Does it be like a finger, a literal finger, or is there a different kind of digit she's talking about? I think she means finger.
That's not ideal, is it? It's very difficult to know what to do with your face. I was going through all the faces in my phone. She said, we've talked about bodies, haven't we, Frank? And areas of bodies that we respect. I thought now would be a really bad time to go, this is awful. I mean, this is a finger up the TA's. I mean, this is now they're teaching numeracy in primary education now. Sort of like, oh, if Frank's got one finger up the TA's arse, how many fingers are still on the outside?
New maths technique.
I said, I'm so sorry. I mean, it was on your watch. I don't know what you want me to do about it. I said, he's a clown, he's just mucking about. He went for the crack, pun intended. And he didn't get a laugh, but I got one now, so it wasn't a total waste of time, was it?
Aww. Well, she's a bit different. She's very high energy for a comedian. I mean, I think a lot are like that, but it is a little bit of a different taste, I'd say. She is very familiar. I can't think of where I've seen her from. I feel like she's been in some sort of British show. Maybe she was on a panel show. I don't know. Either way, maybe she just has a familiar face. I'm interested to actually see more of hers. This particular bit, I will say, maybe not my favorite. Just couldn't really relate as much to some parts of it. But I'd love to hear more of her bits on parenting, because I feel like I could relate to those a lot more. So if you have any good recommendations of her, maybe on parenting or something else that you may think I might relate to, I'd love to hear those, because I'm interested to check more of her out. Anyway, thank you, Laura, for sending this to me. I was very interested to try this out and see what she's like. This Kerry Godliman, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Let me know if she's a comedian that you guys like or have even heard of, and be sure to put more comedians down below, because I'm always in for a good laugh, and I always want to check out these comedians that I've never heard of, because, you know, something about the distance of few thousand miles tends to make it harder to know people. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Thanks for tuning in, and if you watched to the end, thank you for that too. Best wishes to Ethan. Hopefully he's feeling better by tomorrow. It seemed like a mild thing, but it's kind of running around the family right now, so I've been spared so far, and I hope I stay that way. I hate getting sick. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!